Talking ACC schedules with Mike McDaniel from ESPN Blacksburg, where he does work during Virginia Tech football games during the fall. Gobbler country inside the ACC as well. Mike, we make our next stop at Georgia Tech. And while there might not be a whole lot of intrigue to game number one against Clemson, where Georgia Tech will probably be something close to a 4-touchdown underdog, what is intriguing is, of course, the birth of the ACC network on a Thursday night. And also that for the first time in a long time, we're going to see a Georgia Tech offense not led by Paul Johnson and the triple option attack, but actually a semblance of a modern day offense with Jeff Jenkins coming in from Temple. Or Jeff Collins. Jeff Collins coming in from Temple.
I don't mind this schedule for Georgia Tech. Like, just to rip the Band-Aid off in the opener and just get stomped by Clemson. Just do it, right? And get it over with. That's fine. Birth of the ACC network, death of your football team. But it's the opener, so you got to feel good about it, right? So you get that loss out of the way early. South Florida, tough game, but you get it at home. The Citadel at home, bye week. At Temple, who, I mean, your coach, Jeff Collins, just left Temple. So you got Jeff Collins-less Temple / Manny Diaz-less Temple, right?
He should have a scouting report on Temple, if nothing else.
He should feel pretty good about what Temple has and the players that he's going to coach against, because let's be honest, he recruited most of them, right? So he's going to feel good about that matchup. Home against North Carolina, at Duke. Those are your first 7 weeks of the year. I think Georgia Tech can be 6-1, sitting in the top 25 when they have a huge showdown at Miami in I believe that's week 8 of the season. Then you have another bye week. Then you have Pitt at home, UVA on the road, home against Virginia Tech, home against NC State. Toughest game out of that bunch is probably on the road at Virginia, truthfully. I think Virginia is probably the best team out of the 4 I just mentioned, just given this turnover at Virginia Tech, turnover at NC State, and Pitt not having any running backs. I think the toughest game is going on the road at Virginia there in November. And then you got Georgia to close out the year, which is going to be your second loss. So the pros for Georgia Tech is that they match up well against 10 of the teams on the schedule. The downside of it is that you're playing 2 teams that will be in contention for a college football playoff next season, and you play those 2 teams every year. So that's the problem with playing at Georgia Tech and the ACC scheduling, is that, you know, you're always playing Clemson, and Clemson's in war machine mode under Dabo Swinney. And then you're always playing Georgia in the rivalry game at the end of the year, and Georgia's got a heck of a program right now under Kirby Smart. So, you know, the ceiling for Georgia Tech feels like 10 wins. 10-2 would be welcome there in Atlanta. I just don't know if they'll be able to get there, but I think 8 or 9 wins in year 1 is definitely doable, just given how the schedule is laid out, when the bye weeks are, and kind of what Georgia Tech has in front of them.